You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, how are you?
Yes.
Hey.
Okay, so let's cover game number 2 now, which is Gotham FC versus the Houston Dash. The Houston Dash, of course, are the inaugural Challenge Cup winners. They didn't make it this time, but we've got a very, very special guest with us, one of the 5, 6 people who consistently watches the NWSL Rewind since the beginning. We've got Amy Johnson with us. Amy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very
Thanks
well.
for having me.
glad that you could come. We fixed up time differences, time zones, and we had you on here. Of course, you're a Houston Dash fan by your jersey, and of course, you are one that attended the Gotham versus Houston Dash match. You were in the stadium. So, what was that experience like?
It was wonderful. It's kind of a journey for me. It's like a 3.5 hour drive, but totally worth it. It's the closest stadium to where I live and to Christy Muse's hometown as well. So yeah, it was a great time. We got there. It's a very accessible stadium right near the train station, lots of parking. And there's a really nice restaurant like right next to the stadium. And it has a little sports bar area, and they had the Louisville Kansas City game on while we were eating our food. So that was really cool. Yeah, and so when we get to the stadium, the rebrand stuff is huge right now. Like we walked in, everyone's got the Gotham scarves, the shirts, the hats. Everyone's really excited about that. And I had been to a game when it was sky blue, and I didn't really notice the merchandise as much as I did this time. So you can tell that the fans are really like pumped about that. And I saw a lot of Christy Muse jerseys, which I was really pumped about. And when the game started, it's a wonderful atmosphere. You can tell like with women's football, people are really passionate. Like if they're there, they are there to enjoy a game, and it's not, they're not just there to hang out or whatever. So it was very fun to do. And another thing about the games is you get to see all the cool stuff on the sidelines, like that you wouldn't see on TV. I noticed James Clarkson from Houston Dash, the coach, very vocal. I didn't notice that much on television. You see like the people warming up, like Jamia and Ali, like joking around on the field. And yeah, the atmosphere is just really wonderful. Like everyone's really happy. Even though I was a Houston Dash fan, I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel like out of place. And yeah, it's just, it's wonderful. I recommend it. I highly recommend it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you attended matches in previous seasons before this?
I did. I went to Sky Blue versus Orlando a couple years ago. That was my first match. And I also went to a She Believes Cup game there for the US women's national team. And every single experience I've had has been just wonderful. Like I come home really happy and
overjoyed. I would also want to sort of, ask you to tell us about, what is the difference in terms of watching like a Sky Blue at Good Girls versus actually having a stadium, experience at this level when it's not like the US women's national team.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel?
It feels really great. Like everyone's just buzzing with excitement. Especially like people are really like proud and protective and love their team. Like Carly Lloyd and Midge Purse, whenever they were on the field, it was like whenever they were near the ball, everyone was like cheering, like excited. They're like Gotham sweethearts, I would say. And yeah, the atmosphere is just so cool. And you can't really beat like being there in person is just you can't beat it. There's nothing like it. I highly recommend it to anyone in the world. But
that's awesome to hear. And obviously you were potentially part of a smaller group within the large Gotham stand. So what was that like, being part of the away fans?
It was really nice. I saw a bunch of jerseys. I didn't have too many interactions. There's a lot of, COVID social distancing stuff going on, but I saw a lot of Mewis fans. People were shouting out, go Houston Dash, go Christy Mewis, we love you. yeah, it's just it's a really nice atmosphere. I probably keep saying that over and over again, but I really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, fair enough. We've been deprived of fans in stadiums for a while now, so
Yeah.
it's really cool that you could, go out there and experience that. Quickly on the match as well, Amy, what did you make of it? Was it up to your expectations? Of course, I mean, unfortunately, your team didn't come away with any points, but what was the quality of play like, and is it very different to watching it on TV?
Yeah, the match was really cool. I mean, obviously, yeah, the Houston Dash didn't win. But I was right there at the goal. I was sitting behind the goal when Midge, got her goal. And even though, I was cheering for the Dash, I couldn't help. I mean, it was such a good goal. And yeah, it's the gameplay was really good to watch. I was hoping I'd get a ball kicked to me or something. But the players, I definitely noticed a lot that like Midge, Paige Monahan, they were always open, and I always noticed them open on the side, and I was like, come on guys, like you got to get back and protect the goal. And yeah, Gotham really showed up that game. I was really impressed. It's really not hard not to cheer for them, to be honest, but yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, Romel, what are your thoughts on the game? Obviously, Gotham's rebrand and everything that has come after that, it's been hard not to like them and support that team. So, what did you make of the game that time?
Absolutely. I think we've touched on it before. It's just how something that was so key in terms of actually, changing what the whole perception of the team was, to begin with. And then have that translate into like a rebrand, get new colors in, get new players in, people who actually bought into the philosophy of the team rather than just not wanting to be inside. That's like a huge shift. And to then see them come in and perform like this, just like uh, it's incredible. What a turnaround! And I can't help but just be a fan of this team. So give you a very so and again when you look at this matchup, given what we saw last season, given what we saw the Challenge Cup for 2021, it was actually uh, two teams that had really strong defenses. But of course, I think the Dash actually have the best defense so far in the league, and that's what I keep talking about. And uh, you know, uh, given that, I was really worried about what was happening with the forward line because on paper, I think again the Dash actually seemed to be like a stronger team, just based on defense as well as players that they have in offense, with like a Daly or a Lewis, and of course Shea Groom. So it did seem like a matchup that would be exciting, but it did seem that the Dash did have the edge here, and you see Gotham kind of come in and just like start attacking from the word go, and Ujo doing her thing in the midfield, like timing attacks. I think, uh, you know, eh, in fact, actually, I think the Dash did set up really well to sort of work with, what was being thrown at them via, this new triple offense that we saw with, Monahan, VN, and Purse up front. So they were really kind of making sure that things were not too dangerous for them, and it was for like long patches. They didn't really get anything really dangerous happen, and it was just that one shift in terms of what happened where we saw VN come in deeper, let sort of Purse and Monahan sort of come down on the flanks, like make sure that that kept the defense occupied. And it took that one moment of brilliance from first to actually, get Gotham all those points. So it was just practically that one moment that really made it for Gotham. And um, it never felt like this was a match that either team would lose, for example. So it was there. I think maybe around the 70th minute or so, we did see a lot of the we did see a lot of the Dash players, tiring out a bit. But it still, I don't think they sort of lost any of the edge that they had. They did look a little frustrated, of course, given that they were just not able to score. But I think it was just that. I think it was like two really compact defenses that knew what they were doing. Uh, and it was just this one moment of brilliance from first that kind of made the game. So yeah, I think uh, my player of the game has to be first again, obviously, because he did so much on and off the ball that it was really amazing. And another quick note to say, I think playing Wayne up in that front three was actually what a lot of fans were calling for, but
Yeah.
I think it really did clear for them. I think given how Lloyd and Pooja sort of worked in the midfield, I think that is certainly looking like something really dangerous for Gotham at the moment. And they need to kind of tap into that potential actually. So yeah, that was my reading of the game.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that moment of brilliance, and often, football and sport is just made up of moments of brilliance that get you the win. So, Amy, before we let you go, one last question to you is, obviously we've seen Mitch Person TV even from across the globe. She looks fantastic and really smooth. Watching her in person, and that witnessing that moment of brilliance that led to 3 points for Gotham, what was that like?
Oh, it was exciting. Like I wish that I was recording, but I'm kind of glad I wasn't because I was living in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sitting there and you see her coming around and everyone's starting to cheer, like waiting for her to do something. And then we kind of saw Jane Campbell, for the shot. And yeah, when she scored, it was like just the crowd went wild. It's amazing. She's just so cool too. Like she just looks cool.
Very fair. I think
Yeah.
that's a great wrap to this game too. Rewind. I mean, she's so cool. Mitch Purse is just one of those icons. It's going to be there within women's football universe for many years to come. So it'd be really awesome to keep watching her and seeing her grow. But Amy, thank you so much for joining us for this short chat of this game. All the best. I hope you get to go to some more games, and if you do, we'll definitely have you back.
Oh yeah.
That hashtag lives on forever and ever.
Yes, forever.
For everyone listening, Amy created that hashtag, so it's all copyright.
Yes.
Everything goes to Amy. She'll get royalties.
Thanks, guys. Hey, you guys put some really great women's sports content. I really appreciate it. I love watching it. So thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot. That means a lot. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
See you soon.
See you.